Okay, so I'm here with Sarah from Equobility at the N2Y4 conference. Sarah, can you share a few comments on what is Equobility?
Equobility is a SMS gateway server that allows users to buy, sell, and trade more efficiently. The focus is really the issue of global poverty, and that one of the reasons, although there are many and poverty is complex, that not enough people have the ability to participate and benefit from what the market can bring. So by accessing live market information, by accessing other helpful information, they can make better decisions about negotiating for goods and services. The other piece of the system that makes the product a little bit unique and the project different from some of the others is there's actually an object. This is a solar mobile charger. It's actually solar, but also it can be charged from the dynamo on a bicycle. So it's a combination of bike power and solar powered, and it's wearable. It's meant to supplement the system together with the server. It allows someone to always be connected to Equobility SMS, because looking at my test market is in Western Kenya, and 4 in 10 Kenyans have cell phones now, but only 1 in 10 in rural areas have access to electricity. So keeping your phone charged is a major issue. The charger and the SMS platform, but together as a system, offers a robust system of streamlined services that are rooted in the realities of the situation in places like Kenya, where there is still a lack of infrastructure like electricity.
How many hours does that solar power produce in cell phone usage?
Right now, it's an average around 6 to 8 hours between. I mean, that depends on, since it's a combination of bike pedal power and solar power. It depends on, first of all, access to the sun. Is it cloudy, and how fast are you pedaling, or how long you're on your bike for. My target is the bottom of the economic pyramid, or the 4 billion people living on less than $2 per day. But there is an opportunity for this to also be positioned in the developing marketplace.
So it sounds like from what I understand, Equobility is like Google but for SMS. So if someone in either an emerging market or a developed market sends an SMS question, they'll get the reply via SMS. And as you mentioned in your panel, they can not only get the information, but they can connect with a vendor or a customer. They can find a map where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
They can organize transportation, you mentioned.
Yes.
So it's like from soup to nuts, the whole transaction can be achieved through Equobility.
Yeah, and in some ways it sounds complicated, or like it's doing a lot of different things, but really it's a pretty simple way of trying to give someone the ability to have information all the way through to sealing and to transacting. I think if you look at it, it's like that plus eBay plus PayPal plus M-Pesa and some of the other initiatives around the world of mobile banking. It's based on all these platforms that are working, that are being adapted by users throughout the world, but it's kind of bringing them all together so that it's not just working in silos.
Right.
So someone can completely, fully benefit from being in the marketplace.
And are these platforms all being built locally to accommodate the different languages and regional differences?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, Equobility, it's really parsing information. It's bringing down the information from the internet, but also bringing it together with locally uploaded information. So while it's taking it from a source like Google, it's also bringing it information from each person's phone when they're updating and looking for information. That information becomes part of the overall information we all have access to, which makes it richer for everyone. So so it works both ways, that it's a global system that can be locally adapted. And as I mentioned, I'm looking at a test market in Kenya, and that the partnerships and the information that's going into that system would be very much for that marketplace, and then as we find that it works, it would be replicated other places.
You mentioned that Equobility is also financially sustainable. Can you
Yes.
touch on how are you going to monetize this project?
I realized it was important to come up with something that didn't just rely on government funding or always finding the next grant, that it could sustain itself. That, I mean, we're going to be looking for startup capital, but this is a startup business, and the idea that it's an investment that will return, and that that it has several different revenue streams, from the retail sale of the charger to SMS, licensing, sale of the platform, advertising opportunities. So there's a lot of ways that it can sustain itself, and then it's financially sustainable from the perspective of the user, the person who's investing in it. And even if they're living on less than $2 per day, if they save up for it, if they are able to afford it by sharing it with another person in the household or another household, or they use a micro loan in order to buy it up front, then it makes sense because it's a business tool that actually will pay for itself.
How can people learn more? What is your website where they can find out more?
My website is www.equobility.com. You can also find me, my design firm is called Trickle Up Design, so you also visit www.trickleupdesign.com. I'm also on Twitter, so it's just Equobility. So I like questions going forward even after we leave here, because it keeps challenging and pushing the project even farther to make sure that it's based in reality, and that it can actually, like I said, do what it has the potential to do.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah.